Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and my goodness, my longtime friend and colleague is in the studio, Jeffrey Sitcov, the president and founder of Doors of Change. It is so good to see you.
It's great to see you, Drew. It's always a pleasure.
24 years we've known each other. I remember when you started Doors of Change, and you were knocking on doors and opening up doors and focusing on making life better for homeless teens. And 24 years later, you're still killing it. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Talk about the mission.
Doors of Change is a 501c3 that's been for 24 years now getting homeless kids between the age of 17 and 24, the transitional age kids, off the streets, giving them the resources they need, developing trust with them, but most importantly, giving them a way to be self-sufficient with housing, to be able to be a role model for other kids so that they can be, give hope to kids that you can get off the streets and you can succeed just like I have.
Right, exactly. So how many kids have you gotten off the streets?
We're over 2,900 kids now that we've actually placed into safe housing. Many of them become self-sufficient as a result. But we are continuing to expand every year. We just had a huge game changer that happened last month. The San Diego Foundation, which is the largest foundation for nonprofits in the city, selected Doors of Change in conjunction with Urban League to go into high schools, into colleges, and offering scholarships for trade school and for colleges. That's a game changer because now we can get these kids into trades, culinary arts, mechanics, engineering, all different things that they can do to learn trades. They can be self-sufficient. And we're so excited about starting this. We've already had 7 kids now in the program in the first month.
That's fantastic. I know when I first met you, and I was running community public relations for the newspaper, and George Varga, my longtime friend, pop music critic, arguably the best pop music critic in the country. At least I'm going to go with that.
I love George.
He's the best. And he, wrote this article, and he called me and he said, you need to meet this guy. This is in your wheelhouse over here. And at the time, you were getting signed guitars from. Name some of the people that you got signed guitars from.
Well, we were very blessed to have Billy Joel was the first angel that trusted me and came on board and started signing keyboards. And he talked to Elton John when they were touring together in 2001. And Elton said, something, I like this mission. I'll sign a keyboard also. So having the two of them to say, listen, this is a good organization. This is a vision you can trust and be behind. We've now raised over $875,000 in memorabilia. Elton John, Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen, the Rolling Stones, Carlos Santana, Joe Cocker, Aretha Franklin, Ringo Starr, etc. Thank God that they trusted us. And every year I send them articles and things so they see the results of their donations. And I just got the okay this past week that James Taylor is signing a guitar for us on the 10th. And Dinah Krall is signing a keyboard for us again, which he's been with us for 15 years. So it keeps going because people can look at the memorabilia and they know that it's saving kids' lives. And so that's why most people don't play them. They always put them up and on their walls or whatever. Right. But, if you hear this and you say, I want to get memorabilia, go to our website, doorsofchange.org. We've got memorabilia on the website, and we need all the angels to help these kids because if you give them a hand up, not a handout, they will succeed once they trust you.
Yeah, there's no question about that. You hit the key word is trust. We've talked about this quite a bit on our shows. We work with the groups called, Just in Time for Foster
Youth. Yes, we're partners with Just in Time.
Don's the best. And, and I knew Don when he was the news director at 10 News when I was doing my thing at the UT. And, if I've learned anything, which is very challenging for me to learn anything for that matter. You've known me long enough on that. It's all about trust. These are kids that have had adults fail them. And
Yeah.
there's a reason why they don't trust, correct?
Well, people always ask me, why are these kids homeless? Do they want to just get out and they don't want to listen to their parents, whatever? 99% of the kids I've worked with for 24 years are homeless because they don't want to be homeless. They're homeless because they have to be homeless. 40% of the 4.2 million kids that are homeless in America today are homeless because they're LGBTQ kids that come out to their parents, and within an hour, they're thrown out of the house.
Wow.
Don't give them food, clothing, money, nothing. They're on the streets. The other 60% come from such dysfunctional families. Their parents are alcoholics, drug addicts, or mentally ill. And so it's really not safe for these kids to be in the home. It's safer for them to be on the streets. But once they're on the streets, they don't trust anybody, and it's very difficult to get off the streets.
Right, but you've had 24 years of just amazing trust with these kids, not only just with the angels that donate, whether it's guitars or keyboards or everything in between. We're chatting with Jeffrey Sitcov. He's the president and founder of Doors of Change. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. We are brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, the Spotlight Show. We're in our 19th year. We're the longest running community podcast in the nation. And Mission Fed is just doing wonderful things for 6 decades, focusing on such real key causes as food insecurity, whether it's literacy, whether it's, you name it, they're involved, art and so forth. Jeffrey, you talked about, what you do with these kids, and talk about the Homeless Youth Advocacy Program.
Yes. After COVID, we had to shift everything because we had an award-winning music and art program, as you knew, that we saw 8,000 youth in it. Very successful program. And we had to shut it down at COVID. And we said, listen, these kids still need our help. What can we do to help these kids? So we reinvented ourselves. And the Homeless Youth Advocacy Program came out of this. We're helping 3 times as many kids get housing now as we did before COVID. So instead of having housing on our own, which we did for 4 years, we're now farming out to people that are partners. We have 115 partnerships in San Diego that have to do with homelessness, domestic violence, drug addiction, et cetera. We have several partners that have several units where they can go to, and they have different specialties. They're transitional living, they're permanent housing, et cetera. So we have now, in 3 years alone, placed 805 youth into safe housing alone. And we're blessed to have so many partners that are in that realm because cost effectively, it's a lot better to give them to someone than to have them ourselves. It used to cost $40,000 a kid when we had a house of our own. That's too much money.
Right.
We'd rather have more kids get help. And so it's been extremely effective. But the Homeless Youth Advocacy Program is really about case management. We do intense case management. We've got 2 full-time case managers, Turquoise and Angel, and Joanne Newgard, who is the program director. These people are amazing. They develop trust so quickly with these youth because they see, number one, if a youth, when they talk to you, they can see right through you. They see if you're being BS or if you're being authentic. But because of how quick we respond to them, we're one of the only ones in the whole city that literally picks up the phone 24/7. If they call us at 2 a.m, we will pick up the phone. That rarely ever happens with any other organization. So by doing that, we create trust a lot quicker. We get, we're with them within an hour for sure. We talk to them, and it's been very successful that the kids trust us. They refer their friends to us. We've had such successes that kids from 20 years ago come back and mentor and share and talk to the youth that are homeless now to give them hope.
Yeah, when you come back on, and you will be back on, not that we want to break any HIPAA laws or privacy laws and all that, but those folks that you've been working with for 24 years, if you want to bring a couple of them on and talk about what they're doing now and what Doors of Change meant to them, that's the street cred. That would be wonderful. What got you into this? Was your childhood challenging at all? Or you just said, listen, you just have a big enough heart, we need to help these kids?
I happen to be a physical therapist by profession. I practiced for 18 years. I had a successful practice with 17 employees. I had a spinal cord injury 25 years ago, and I had to stop my profession. Literally within a second, my life changed.
Wow.
And I just decided to help kids and went on outreach for one night to see how to get kids off the streets. I didn't even know there were homeless kids in our community. That one night of outreach changed my life. I decided at that moment, I'm going to help these kids. They need the help. I saw how trust was everything with these kids. This youth opened up after 6 months. She didn't say anything to the outreach workers for 6 months. I happened to be there when she opened up the first time. And she had such wisdom. I kept saying, how does she know all this stuff? She was an old soul at 18 years old on the streets for 3 years. But that incident decided me to say, listen, I've got to help these kids. And it's been 24 years now.
Right. So here you are, a physical therapist, right? And now you had a spinal cord injury. You got to switch what you're doing. You get involved one night and said, this is what I'm going to be doing. How did you get into the music deal? How did you sit there and say, I'm going to give Elton John a call, or I'm going to give Billy Joel a call? I mean, that is a 180.
It all comes from above. I mean, it wasn't me. I mean, I didn't plan this. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, because being a physical therapist, I just wanted to help these kids. But I'm an award-winning photographer, and Billy Joel remembered me through my photography because I sent him stuff when I said I was going to do it. I followed through and sent it to him. And so integrity is everything. And, I believe that once you share with, your vision and you follow through with your actions over and over again, and people see that this has integrity and that you're a person of your word, it's very hard to trust today. If someone's listening right now, there's 10,000 nonprofits in San Diego. Who do you trust? Who do you help? To me, it begins with kids. I mean, the youth are everything. They're their future. And if we don't help these kids getting off the streets now, you go down to San Diego and see, thousands of people that are homeless, 30, 40, 50, 60-year-olds. How do you stop that? You stop it from helping the kids get off the streets so they're not cemented, and they have an opportunity because they're not so mentally ill. They don't have that much addiction that they can, with trust, they trust you. They will follow you because they want to get off the streets.
Right. Do you work closely with Father Joe's Villages?
Father Joe is one of our partners.
Yeah, Deacon Jim is a former colleague of mine. I'm not sure if you knew that.
I love Deacon Jim. We actually get together for coffee every once in a while, and it's always special.
100%.
They do great jobs. And again, they have, so many ages that they deal with. We're very specifically structured on 17 to 24-year-olds. Why? When you look at homeless and you say, who is going to break the cycle of homelessness more than any other age group? The transitional age kids from 17 to 24, they're the most underserved of anybody. People think, they're adults. They don't need the help. Well, they need the help more than anybody because their parents never taught them what to do. And so they don't know how to succeed. But that age group, if you can give them a hand up, we give them a hand up, not a handout. They will succeed and break the cycle of homelessness more than any other age group nationally. And so I just instinctively kept seeing the 12 to 17-year-olds that we were helping with San Diego Youth Services storefront. And I kept seeing the older kids on the streets that no one was helping 24 years ago. We were one of the first ones to help the 17 to 24-year-olds, the transitional age kids. It wasn't the sexy thing to do, but to me, it was the right thing to do because no one was helping these kids. And now after 24 years, thank God we chose that age group because they're the ones that really are breaking the cycle more than anybody. And that's why 2,900 kids now have gotten housing because they trusted us enough to do what the case manager suggested. And they're now self-sufficient and role models.
Yeah, that's great. When we come back from break, Jeffrey, let's talk about the big gig on September the 6th at UCSD, of course, and want to save some time in the second half of the interview. What can our listeners do to support your efforts? Certainly go to the concert, donate, volunteer, money doesn't grow on trees, advocate, and everything in between when we return with Jeffrey Sitcov. President and founder of Doors of Change. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 60 years of doing great things in San Diego County. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Just thrilled to have my longtime friend and colleague in the studio with us today, Jeffrey Sitcov, president and founder of Doors of Change, just chatting about the Homeless Youth Advocacy Program, the many, many angels. We'll talk more about those angels, but you got a big gig coming up on September 6th.
Every year we have a concert of hope. It's all about hope and creating hope. And so this year, it's the Rolling Stones tribute band, Jumping Jack Flash, at the UCSD Epstein Family Amphitheater for $44 lawn tickets, for $64, seats. You can come and take a stand. It's not acceptable to have homeless kids in our community. You can have a great time and dance for 2.5 hours because Whitney Shea opens the show. She's a blues award-winning singer, and then Jumping Jack Flash kicks butt, and I'll tell you, the guy looks like Mick Jagger. They sound like the Stones, and people have a great time. But the most important thing, Drew, every year, we always have the youth speak at the concert, and they blow people's minds because their stories are so real, and they educate the community about the homeless youth issue. And once we can educate the community, most people want to help.
Well, I think we're going to convince our associate producer, Brandon Joe. He'll be a senior when the concert's rolling around. We understand that he loves to dance and loves to sing. Mm-hmm. So we may even have him up on stage. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know about that, but all I know is that you can come September 6th. It's a Saturday after Labor Day. We actually started tickets yesterday, so tickets are on sale now. Go to doorsofchange.org. Doors is plural. Doorsofchange.org. Get tickets. $44 lawn tickets. Come on. $64 regular tickets. The most important thing is you're going to do something to be part of a solution to help these kids have a better life and help these kids be role models so we can get other youth off the streets and help homelessness in our community.
Yeah, there's no question about that, what you've been doing for 24 years. Talk about just out of his history, some of the other concerts that you folks have been putting on before this year, September 6th.
Well, the last couple of concerts, last year was Casey and the Sunshine Band. They sold 100 million copies of their CDs.
Wow.
Ben Harper was phenomenal. Just tremendous. Three Dog Night was amazing. My favorite show we've ever done was B.B. King. We honored B.B. King at San Diego State in 2007. We had 4,000 people there. It was sold out with 6 national headliners that came literally to honor B.B. and to help homeless youth, and it was amazing. But every year, it's very special because when you hear the kids speak and you see them right before you every year changing before your eyes and see them grow and see the success, and you're part of the solution. So go to doorsofchange.org if you can. Even if you don't like music, come and listen to the kids speak. It'll blow your mind. Yeah. And, if someone says, I'm not going to be in town, you can always go to Doors of Change and make a donation of any amount. Now, I want to share something with you.
Please.
We trademarked the name Angel Team from the California Angels. We're one of the only ones they have ever allowed to trademark that name specifically for youth homelessness. And for $18 a month, 18 means life in Hebrew, and we're bringing life to these kids. So karmically, you're helping more and more kids get off the streets. For $18 a month, be an Angel Team member. You get signed memorabilia that you can get some of my photos that are signed by, some famous musicians. But the most important thing is that you're helping these kids on a monthly basis. You don't even know it's out of your paycheck. $18 doesn't make it's not going to kill anybody once a month. But if we have 1,000 people that donate $18 a month, that's going to allow us to keep Doors of Change going for another 20 years.
Yeah, no, I think that's fantastic. Have we made a dent in teen homelessness?
That's a great question. I think that we have definitely helped teen homelessness tremendously.
Awareness.
But because of the awareness tremendously, because when I started this 24 years ago, when I speak at the Belly Up, and I raised $150,000 speaking to the Belly Up the first 3 years, no one knew about youth homelessness. I mean, I didn't have anybody that said I knew there was youth homelessness.
I was at one of those concerts.
Yeah. Now, people know there's youth homelessness. So I think by 24 years of us getting the word out, people know now there's homelessness. They don't know the severity of it. They don't know that there's 4.2 million kids that are in America that are homeless between 17 and 24. Once they are educated, it's like, wow, I had no idea. I want to help.
Yeah. I think what's interesting about this, and it is about awareness, and I'll use this same analogy. People in San Diego, one of our frequent guests is Casey from the food bank. The amount of folks that go hungry in San Diego County is huge.
Yeah.
Obviously, the homeless teens as well. But so food insecurity is massive in this community. And those who really, I didn't realize that was a big issue. It's a big issue. The same with, there's homeless teens running around. It's, what you're doing, first of all, the awareness is so critical.
Yeah. San Diego State is one of our partners, and they've told me, their development people told me 10% of the youth that go to San Diego State are living in their cars or couch surfing. 10%.
That's right.
City College, probably 30%. So, thank God that we have now the opportunity to go into the trades, go into the colleges and go into high schools and offer scholarships with Urban League, our partnership with them, to actually get these kids a trade so they'd be self-sufficient and really break the cycle long term. That's what our goal is, and we need the help of our community. We cannot do this alone. To hire a case manager, it's $65,000 a year. How can we do that unless we get donations coming in? Because we need these one-on-one times that the case manager can actually get them what they need and we actually take them to appointments. We do whatever we can. We're like surrogate parents. That's why the Homeless Youth Advocacy Program, we're advocates for these kids. We're really like their surrogate parents because their parents are so dysfunctional, they're not parents to them anymore.
Right, exactly. We're chatting with Jeffrey Sitcov. He is the president and founder of Doors of Change. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast. We're in our 19th year, brought to you by the fine folks at Mission Fed Credit Union, just 60 plus years doing great things, in the community. How many of the folks that you work with, the homeless teens, now that they're on their way to getting more skill sets, having a little more structure, actually go back to their families?
Very rarely do they go back to their parents because their parents are so dysfunctional. That's why the problem is.
Right.
However, if we can get them with an aunt and uncle or grandparent or someone that's safe, we reunite them with them. But we do not reunite them with their parents if it's not safe.
Right.
And so most of the time, we don't work with the parents because it's a waste of time. We spend our time with the kids to make them self-sufficient so they can do it on their own and help themselves.
Yeah, one of our frequent guests is at the San Diego County administrative offices, and they work foster youth and all that business. And their goal is, once a kid is pulled out of the family because of some issues with the parents, is to get them back united with the parents. So they work with the parents if it's safe. Obviously, if it's not safe, you're not going to do that, right? And surprisingly, a lot of the parents want help. They can't handle it for whatever the reason is. So they get help and all that aspect of it. So, and you're right. Obviously, you don't want to put them back into a situation that's going to send them spiraling. But if the parents are, hey, listen, I'm really messed up. I need a second chance. I'm on the straight and narrow, best you can. I'm assuming that happens sometimes.
I'm sure it does, but I think it's rare.
Yeah, right.
And again, mostly if you have so much time you can do to make a difference, we want to go to the kids, help the youth, help themselves, and get them with family members that are safe.
Right.
And we reunite them with family members all the time, but they're usually not their parents. It's the grandparents, the aunts and uncles, et cetera.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what can our listeners do to support your efforts? Fire away.
If you're touched by what you're hearing, please take action. If you don't take action, nothing's going to help. Nothing's going to make a difference unless you take action. Be an Angel Team member. Go for $18 a month, $30 a month, $50 a month, $100 a month, whatever you can do. Make a monthly donation, preferably. If not, you say, I've got $20, make a $20 donation. Every donation makes a difference, because if not, we won't be able to continue doing Doors of Change. We want to continue this for another 24 years. These kids need our help, especially now with the LGBTQ kids getting harassed. And just, with politics, what's going on right now, 50% of our youth are LGBTQ plus.
Yeah. More
than the national average.
Right. No, there's absolutely no question about that. Do you work with mentors at all for these kids?
We don't really, because again, to work with these kids, you have to have special skills,
Right.
trauma-informed care primarily.
Right.
And most people are not skilled with trauma-informed
Right.
care. They're not normal kids at this age group. So
Right.
you have to really be with specialists. That's why the case managers are like their parents, basically. Our case managers, Turquoise and Angel and Joanne, the three of them, and also Nicole, the four of them together are just such an amazing support for these youth. That's why they keep coming back. If you see that a youth is asking for mental health referrals,
Right.
that's because they trust our case management. And that's rare to ask for that 25 years ago. Now it happens all the time because they trust us and they trust our case managers, and they say, if it's going to help me, I want to get off the streets.
Right. So you've been doing this for 24 years. I've known you for 24 years.
Yes.
And you're just doing just unbelievably game-changing, life-changing work, to say the least. Is there a succession plan? I mean, hopefully you're doing this for another 24 years. Probably not 124 years.
Yes.
But do you have some folks?
Yes.
Yeah.
We do. We actually have a succession plan in place, and especially we just are working with the San Diego Foundation to have
Right.
a long-term legacy giving program. We've already raised $35,000, and so we're starting the program that
Right.
people can give donations for our long-term legacy. That we can take the principal out if we need to. With endowments, you can't take the principal out, but with this long-term legacy program, we can, if God forbid we are, need funds, we can take the money out. But it's a way that someone could say, you know something, I want to help these guys 20 years from now. I'll give $1,000 for their legacy program. Contact us and you can do that. And we're just opening it as we speak. We're actually signing the papers and opening up the program so people, their money, 100% of it will go to get kids off the streets.
What's the website?
Doorsofchange.org. Doors is plural.
Right.
Doorsofchange.org. Please come and watch the videos of the youth, hear their stories, and hopefully take action, and so we can help more kids get off the streets.
All right. Final comments about September the 6th.
Come September the 6th to UCSD Epstein Family Amphitheater. Tickets start at $44. We started tickets yesterday, so come and get good seats. Doorsofchange.org. Doorsofchange.org. Get your seats right on our website. And please come up and say hello to me. Say, I heard you on the podcast, and I took action.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, you're a treasure, to say the least. And on behalf of all the folks you've touched and you're going to touch, I'm looking forward to having you make a return appearance. Think about who you want to have join you. Some of the youth that have gone through your program. September 6th, everybody go to Doors of Change. Look up the concert. It'll be at UCSD. Jeffrey, it is a pleasure. I look forward to your return appearance.
Thank you so much, Drew. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Jeffrey Sitcov, president and founder of Doors of Change. I'm Drew Schlosberg, Cloudcast Media. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, 6 decades of doing great things in San Diego County. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.